Episode 2, Deano Show. My name's Griffin Dean. We are back. Happy to have all you guys along on the ride, and I can't wait until this reaches bigger and bigger audience. But for all you that are here right now, I appreciate every one of you, and I hope you enjoyed episode 1. I hope you got a better understanding of what it is I'm looking to create, how I plan on getting there, and just having fun along the way and bringing you guys with me at the end of the day. So, yeah, and I got some Instagram love from when I posted on my story that the first episode was live. I got some comments on this video. Good to see some folks are enjoying this. But yeah, dude, it's really impactful, and it's really cool to see that I do have a voice and that I can make something out of this, dude. That I have the ability to turn my camera on, put in some earbuds, and talk to you guys and create a show doing it. Like, I have that ability. And I don't think I was using my free will enough, and I don't think not enough people, or at least some people, forget that, like, there are no rules, dude. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. There are no rules. As long as it's legal, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. Even the illegal things you could do if you really want to. But don't do any illegal shit. So, yeah, it was good to see you guys enjoyed it, and I'm happy that we're getting some support. And as always, I'm very thankful for all you guys that listen, even when we're at zero. But it's going to be cool one day to look back on this, and I don't know how many years or how many episodes, but it's going to be cool to look back and be like, yep, it was always this from the start, and you guys are extremely early. This is like Bitcoin in like 2004. This is like, I don't even know if Bitcoin was around back then. This is early Bitcoin. Sky's the limit with this. No, the sky's not the limit. The universe is the limit because it goes on forever. But I'm just word salading right now. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So, episode 2, a couple of things I want to talk about. A couple of things that's been on my mind and what I've actually have been doing up to this week, because I kind of had somewhat of a busy week. But first things first. So, last week I talked about how your brain wants to keep you protected, and which is why I was scared to start this. I was scared to put myself out there. I felt that no one would really understand my world perception or understand what it is I'm trying to create, which is why, and ultimately led me to stay in my comfort zone and kind of be a shell of a man and hide from the deep truths deep inside my soul that I always wanted to talk about and always wanted to preach to you guys. And as much as your brain worries about fears, and it's important to recognize what you're afraid of and why you're afraid of it and yada, 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 I also think it's very important to understand what will happen if this succeeds. Your brain job overall is to keep you safe. It's to look out for you when things are going well, when things are going good. It's just a job. It's just analyze everything that's going on in your life. And I kind of realized that maybe my brain's also afraid of the success. Maybe my brain is also afraid of what if this blows up in a week? Are you going to be able to handle the audience? Now, I don't want this to blow up in this week. I want this to be a long grind, and I want to really, like, gradually over time build something. I don't want the overnight success that everyone online dreams about having. I don't want that, because there's no foundation there. That's just temporary bullshit. I don't want that. Look at the Hawk Tuah girl. No one has ever. I'm sure you haven't even thought about her in the last month now that I mentioned her name. But moral of the story, and what I'm trying to get out of here is, I think my brain was fearing success. It was the fear of, I'm talking to 140 of you right now, but am I going to be able to take the judgment to when it's 250,000 people? Well, when you think about it that way, like, that's a lot of damn people. Like, could I handle that? I don't know. But yes, I probably could handle it. I would have to do some research on what it is I want to talk about, and over time I'll get used to talking to more people, and of course you can handle it. Am I afraid of becoming a whole new version of myself? Pretty much stripping down and killing the old version of me that just woke up, kind of doom scrolled, constantly watched everyone else achieve their successes, and was constantly comparing my life to other people's. And that old version of me has to die in order for this new version of me to grow and to become something. So there's many things that come along with success, and I think it's important for you to really understand, like, if I go for this, what is my life going to look like? If I succeed in this, what changes are going to happen? Am I going to have a much bigger responsibility as a friend, as a parent, as a sibling, as a show on a podcast? Like, am I going to have to talk to 200,000 people versus 150? There's big responsibilities, and eventually at one point I'm no longer gonna be the one of like, I'm trying to do this. It's gonna be, yo, I actually did this and I am doing this. And that to me can be heavy. It can be heavy because it's so minuscule right now and this is such a small thing in my life, but hopefully one day it turns out to something huge. And to think about that, I'm gonna have to have the responsibility to put out an episode every week and get criticized for speaking my opinions and whatnot. That can be a lot, and that can be a fear of not wanting to succeed. So I think as much as I was afraid of the fears of starting, I think it was a big part of the fears of the success, the fears of what else will this bring me? How will this look when I succeed? So I think that's another important thing that you guys should take note of in whatever you're going after in your life, is like, if I succeed in this, what is my life going to look like? What are the things I might do, I might see, I might feel, I might lose? At least for me, when I thought about that, it was pretty eye-opening, and it definitely kind of unpacked some more baggage in the mind. But yeah, dude, on Monday, I had my first ever job interview, like official job interview, not like, I don't know, in a job interview like McDonald's. No, it was like a actual job interview that I had to like put on a nice shirt, button up, get the hair going, do all the fresh and clean stuff, and did some preparation for it, and I actually did pretty well for my first one. You know, I thought I was prepared. I thought I said the things I wanted to say. But yeah, it was. You know, when I get in kind of those high intense situations, I try to take a step back and get a bigger perspective. And what I mean by that is, you know, you think of a job interview and you think of like, oh no, like I gotta say the perfect thing so they really like me. I gotta say X, Y, and Z so they know this about me. I have to have the perfect response to every question they ask me. And there's so much pressure you can put on yourself when it gets into those situations. But in reality, dude, at least for me, before I got into that, I was like, dude, you're going to have a conversation with someone. You're going to literally talk to a stranger about who you are. That's it. That's literally it. And if they like who you are and they like what you have to say, then great. If they don't like who you are and they thought another candidate would be better, the sun's still going to come up tomorrow and there's going to be another job you can still apply for that you will probably get. That one wasn't meant to be. And then the other side is I remind myself, in any situation, dude, we're on a spinning rock right now, man. We're literally spinning at hundreds of miles, however fast the Earth is spinning, floating through outer space. Does anything really matter? Of course things matter, yes. But that type of stuff, like how deep and how heavy some things may feel in a certain situation, when you really zoom out and think of the biggest perspective possible, you're like, wow, I really am just a speck of dust in outer space right now. If I really fuck up, so be it. If I really kill it, awesome. But if not, I'm still going to be the same person I was before I did it. And I think that's important to have that mindset, and really anything that you're new to. At least for me, is like, yo, dude, you're going to suck at your first 100 podcast episodes. You're probably going to word salad a lot. And what's going on up here isn't exactly going to come out the way you want it to when you're talking to the camera. And that's okay, because you have to practice at something to get good at it. And for me, I tend to, unfortunately, I'm a perfectionist and I want everything to be perfect. I want what I say and what comes out of my mouth to be perfect and make total sense, but that's impossible. And that's a part of that pretty much self-sabotage mentality. And that's another thing I realized, like, dude, I am my own greatest enemy. I don't think that there is... My dog is getting the garbage. One sec. Hey! Out of there. I am my own greatest enemy. And like I said, Matt, last episode, your mind's the greatest salesman possible. And for me, if this doesn't work out, it's my own fault. I let my own thoughts win, and I'm going to do everything I can for that not to happen, and I'm going to choose not to believe the thoughts. The fastest way to change your life is to change your thoughts. Your thoughts create your reality. If you think positive, if you wake up every morning and you say, you know what, I got a roof under my head, I got food in the fridge, I can go to the gym, I can lift weights, I can better myself, I have a bed to sleep in. If you constantly practice gratitude and all the things that you're grateful for, that all the things that you have, it goes into your subconscious brain and it'll flow throughout the rest of your body, and you're going to be more energized. You're going to be more thankful for all the things you have. Because believe it or not, so many people focus on what they don't have and forget about how amazing life is right now in the present moment, because they're always worried about what Jimmy has down the street driving the Porsche. But you got a car that gets you to point A to point B. Like, comparison is a thief of joy. And wholeheartedly, hand up. I mean, I do it all the time, dude. I still do it way too much. I go on Instagram, I go on any social media platform, and I'm like, dude, that person already has like 500,000 YouTube subscribers. I only have like 150, and why should I care about someone else's journey when I got to worry about my own? It's the human mind. You have to learn how to control your mind, control your thoughts, control your emotions. We talk about frequency, right? Our body is on a frequency. And my buddy actually showed me this frequency chart, which I'll pop up right here. Boop! And at the top you have enlightenment, and the top you have all the good things. And as you get down, you get to low, like shameful, guilt, all those bad things. And what I've kind of thought about when I go to make a decision to like sit on my phone in my bed for another 20 minutes, I'm like, is this going to raise my frequency? Is me just avoiding the things I want to do, aka this, going to make me happier? No. It's going to lower my frequency. Is going to yoga, is going to the gym going to raise my frequency? Damn right it is. And it doesn't have to be some crazy thing. It doesn't have to be anything. Dude, I remember before I got into the gym, before I started going to the gym, I used to be so insecure and nervous about not lifting big weights, about not knowing what workouts to do in the gym. And I literally used to walk into the gym, look up on TikTok, arm exercises, chest exercises, back exercises, and I used to like go to these machines, watch these videos, put my phone down, and replicate whatever the workout was. So shout out to all the kids out there who are doing that exact thing right now. You are the ones who make this world a better place. Keep on striving to be better. But yeah, man, that was, I don't know, bro. I just, like, sometimes, like, the gym, like, people get, like, in their own head about lifting not heavy weights or, like, just starting. Starting is the hardest part, as I talked about last episode. But once you kind of get going in a rhythm and get, like, moving with it, dude, like, the path just appears and it becomes a lot easier, and you realize that the negative thoughts you had about whatever situation were never actually true. It was your own mind, again, trying to keep you safe and protected. But the more you escape that, the more you trust yourself, the more you get out of your comfort zone, the more you live, dude. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this. I realized, I was like, dude, I'm just kind of floating right now. Like, I'm just not really doing anything with my life. I'm just kind of waking up and doing the same things. I'm not going after my goals. Like, that's just boring, man. Like, what else is there to live for? I don't know. And that's why I really want to, and why I am getting this going, is because of that. And it's find more habits that raise your frequency. And they don't have to be some crazy astronaut, I don't even know if that's the right word. They don't have to be some crazy biohacking fucking gym routine, morning wake up, meditate. Like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, dude. It literally can be as simple as go walk 5 miles. Oh, that's a little extreme for you then. Go walk a mile. Go outside for a 30-minute walk without your phone and sit with your thoughts and sit with trying to figure something out, starting something new. Like, people tend to make big situations out of little things, and at least I do. I feel like I have to do like the biggest, baddest, crazy workout possible. But in reality, even a straight body weight workout. Herschel Walker, NFL player, apparently never lifted weights. Just did push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups. And look at him. Look up a photo of Herschel Walker. He's the fucking Hulk. So, like, even in your own house, dude, when you wake up in the morning, do 20 push-ups. When you go to bed, do 20 push-ups. Do 100, do however many you want. But the more you're active, the more you're doing things, the more you're getting out and exploring the world, one, it lowers your anxiety and depression, because depression can't hit a moving target. If you're constantly doing things, what's your brain, like, your brain doesn't have the time and power to focus on something else, because you're being active, you're getting out, you're doing things. So if there's anyone out there that isn't necessarily being active or wants to get in better shape or wants to do something, dude, just start small and work your way up. I mean, I started doing push-ups, and then I got into squats, and then I started going to the gym and actually enjoyed it. And like, it's like the best part of my day now. And it's gotten to a point where it's like, dude, if I don't go to the gym, I'm gonna be like mad at myself. Or if I don't go to yoga, or if I don't do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, that's another thing I've gotten into. I've gotten really into yoga, Bikram yoga, hot yoga. It's like, I don't know, 100 and something, 103 or 4 degrees in that room when you do it. And that, a 90-minute Bikram yoga class is harder. Ooh, I don't know, man. Is more mentally challenging than a really hard 60-minute body workout, I think, in my opinion. Because it's fucking 105 degrees. You got to hold each posture for a certain amount of time. You're dripping sweat all over your body. You're sweating in places I didn't even know you could sweat from, aka your shins. Like, it's a mental warfare when I get into that yoga room. It's a mental warfare, but it's also the most relaxing. It's the most like relaxing and therapeutic workout I've ever, like, it's a weird dynamic. Like, yes, you're working very hard, and I think I burn like 800 calories to 1,000 calories per class, depending on how long the class is. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, it's so like mentally challenging up here because you kind of know what's coming and you know what postures you hate. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta do bow on the ground. I hate that. Like, I don't know. It's just something about it, like, is so calming, but so mentally challenging up here, which is why I think it's one of the most underrated skills, is being able to control your own mind, control your emotions, control your thoughts. And that's another thing. I mean, God is the final boss and anything and everything. He is the final boss. And, you know, you think about like regret, and you think about capitalizing on opportunities and what you want to do with your life and making the most of your time here. And that's partially why I'm starting this up again, because yes, I may not be the best talker to a camera one-on-one to begin with, but it's a skill I'm going to get better at over time as I do it more. If I don't use the talent, use the grit, use the discipline, use my voice as leverage to go after what I believe in, to make an impact on this world, I'm pretty much saying, you know what, God, this situation wasn't good enough. I needed to know for sure that this is going to work, that this is going to be my job one day. That's not how this works, dude. I don't know if this is going to work. But the secret to the universe, and it's pretty simple, is if you show up every day at something and you work like hell day in and day out, you cannot fail. It's probably going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of commitment, and it's going to take a lot of sacrifices to get there. And I'm going to have to sacrifice getting jobs that I might necessarily not want to do in order to make money to ultimately, hopefully, make this my job. But I'm going to have to do it regardless. And anything worth doing is hard. Anything, period. And in society today, and where we've got to in social media and overnight success, it's, you go online and it's like, how I made a 6-pack in 30 days. The easiest way to get bigger biceps. Like, why does everything have to be easy? If everything was easy, then nothing would have value. You see someone who has a good physique, you're like, wow, they are disciplined. They work their ass off to get to where they are, because it's a high value thing. It's not even that it's a high value thing. You just know that they put in hours that you don't see, and they challenge themselves to be a better version of themselves. Overnight success doesn't exist. And at least for me, like I said, I don't want the overnight success. I genuinely do not want the overnight success. I want to build a foundation, and then I want to start building the house, and so on and so forth. But yeah, dude, the secret to the universe is showing up every day, believing in something, even when it's not real, and just staying in aligned with it. Thoughts turn into action. Action turn into a whole new reality. You control your thoughts, you control your mind, you control your action, and you do the things you're going to say you're going to do. You show up for yourself and do it. You're going to be off to a pretty damn good life. And that's the reality of it. There's this story that I saw, not a story, but something I thought about, like building trusts and building a relationship with yourself. And what do I mean by that? So let's say you and your buddy were going to go to the gym at noon on a Wednesday, and your buddy texts you, yeah, man, I'll see you there. He doesn't show up. He's like, oh, okay, he just maybe couldn't make it today. The next day on Thursday, 12 o'clock, same time, didn't show up again. He's like, all right, dude, like, where are you? Blah, blah, blah. Third time, doesn't show up. Fourth time, doesn't show up. Eventually, you're not gonna want to trust that person. You're not gonna want to keep believing in that person to show up for you again. And that goes the same way with your mind. You say you're gonna wake up at 7 and go to the gym, wake up at 7 and go to the gym. You say you're gonna start your own podcast, then you better start your own podcast and do it. So much of life is just showing up and doing what you say you're gonna do. And think about it. If you do all the things that you say you're going to do, think about how far ahead you're going to be. You're going to be 10 times more far ahead than as you were if you never did. So show up for yourself. That's one of the most important things you can do. This bottle's a little egregious, I know. But Pellegrino water rips. Absolutely rips. I've almost been drinking more sparkling water than I have regular water the last couple days. I don't know why, but sparkling water is really, really making a strong case for number one right now. Anyways, story for another time. So if anyone has like really good breakfast high protein meals that don't include scrambled eggs, because I just can't do scrambled eggs. I don't know why. It's been a thing since I was a kid, but something about the texture, if they're like wet, I just can't do them. Max Brownback, if you're listening to this, it was the talks you would have in the kitchen when you would be making eggs before you'd go skiing. I could not do scrambled eggs. And you'd make jokes about how wet and soggy dude, it's just gross. I can't do scrambled eggs, but I can do fried eggs. I can do sunny side up, over easy, all those. But like, I tried to make an omelet the other day, and I just couldn't. I took one bite, and I put in some sausage, cheese, and it was like a pretty good omelet. And I took one bite and almost threw up. Like, I don't know, man. Something about when you start really stirring up the eggs and put them on, I just can't do it, unfortunately. So if someone has good like protein meals, shoot me a text or shoot me an Instagram DM for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because yeah, I can't be eating 2 bagels every morning before the sun comes up. That's just how you get fat, and especially there's not that much protein in a bacon, egg, and cheese. The carbs outweigh the protein by a mile. Now let's talk about MLB. So if you know me, or if you don't know me, big time Mets fan. Terrible season. Just completely underachieved our ceiling. Didn't even make the postseason. Season ending in a double play, so that's awesome. But I have got to a point. Let's say this. Steve Cohen promised a World Series in the first 5 years of being an owner. We've made it to the NLCS. Okay. Not a World Series. We haven't won a World Series since '86. So something has to change. A lot of speculation about Alonso leaving. Look, dude, right now, if I woke up tomorrow and Alonso was gone, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think he's would it be good to have him back because he's like one of our biggest power bats? Yes, absolutely. His defense is a little wobbly, shaky, yada, yada, yada. We need another bat. We need fucking starting pitching. Dude, our starting pitching was absolutely atrocious. We couldn't have a starting pitching go more than 4 innings when it came down to the late in the season, making the playoff, trying to get into the playoffs. How are you a starting pitcher in MLB and you can't go more than 3 innings? How is that genuinely possible? You get paid millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you can't make it 4 innings. What are we doing? Genuinely, what are we doing here? How is that, bro? So yeah, we definitely need starting pitching. I know Scooble's out there. I know Skeens is out there. I know you got Ranger Suarez. You got Valdez. I think out of those, I mean, to get Scuba, we're going to have to give up a lot. Probably have to give up Jet Williams. Who's down in our AAA. Probably going to have to give up Beatty, Acuna, McNeil. I mean, I'd be totally okay with giving up Acuna and McNeil. I don't know what McNeil. McNeil thinks he's a hitter. He won the batting title. I don't know where that player went. I mean, he's up there just slapping at balls. So, I don't know. I know it's kind of baseball season's out of season right now, but there's a lot of news right now in the MLB. I saw the Mets were interested in Bellinger. Look, you put Soto in right, Nimmo in center, Bellinger in left. That's pretty good outfield. I don't know. We're probably most likely going to keep Beatty at third. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Beatty became more of a star than Vientos did. Vientos had a dog shit year. Didn't really do much. Beatty's a better defenseman. He's a better bat. At least this past year he was. So I would trade Vientos for someone. You got a Bregman. That'd be great. Schwarber's on the free agency list. He just hit like 50-something bombs, so put him at DH. I don't know. I'm really interested to see what the Mets bring in when it comes to spring training because we need a lot of changes in the offseason. I want a World Series, dude. And Shohei Ohtani might be the best baseball player to ever live. What he is doing is, I don't even know. That game he had in the NLCS, pitched 6 innings, had 10 strikeouts, gave up 0 runs, gave up, I think, like 6 hits, and had 3 home runs, went 3 for 3. I mean, that solidifies him as the GOAT. He's going to win the MVP, most likely. He already has 2 rings. He's doing it unbelievably on both sides of the ball. Yeah, well, I guess you could argue that Babe Ruth and whoever else did it back and then. But, I mean, that was just such a different era of baseball. So it's hard to relate in a way because, I mean, it was just so different. You had plumbers and whatnot. I don't know if that's actually true, but people say they were playing against plumbers and drinking flasks in the outfield. I'm not making any claims. I don't know if that's fully true, but if that is true, I almost don't like. It's hard to put an asterisk on that because like that's what every team was competing against. So it's just a kind of a part of history, and like the Yankees have like 27 World Series. So how are you gonna like take that away from them because everyone was doing the same thing and competing against the same fields? So it's, I don't know, wishy-washy. But Brian Daboll was just fired from the Giants. Giants fan myself. I like our new team, even though it's full of injuries right now. Dart is a dog. Dart is a dog. He's got that swagger. He's got it. Scattaboo, I mean, he's going to get CTE in the next 3 years, but Scattaboo's a beast. Malik Neighbors is Malik. And I think we got a high draft pick next year, so watch out, man. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not saying we're Super Bowl contenders, but Giants could be looking good. Big Blue could be coming back, and it could be coming back quick. Ovechkin hit 900 goals a little bit ago. That's my GOAT. That's why I'm a Caps fan. Playing hockey as a kid, Ovechkin just, I don't know. He was just my idol growing up when I was playing hockey, and love him ever since. Greatest goal scorer of our time. Greatest goal scorer ever, not just of our time, of all time he is. And that's up for no debate. But, yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got for this episode of the Deano Show. And, yeah, a couple things. I don't know if I touched on this at the beginning of the episode, but I'm going to start to try to figure out how I can have guests on, how to do that, like how I'm going to do that remotely, because I obviously don't have a studio. I mean, I'm in my room right now. How I'm going to be able to do that. And I know I want to put this on Spotify eventually, and I got to figure out how I can do that because watching a podcast on YouTube is not ideal. So if I could have multiple platforms, that'd be for the better. And I'm going to look into start getting some guests in the coming weeks. Hopefully, I've already talked to a couple folks who said they would be down. But for the most part, dude, just going to keep momentum, keep the ball rolling, keep on showing up, and let's see what happens with this. Saw some good comments. How about Brody Towers, 1616? Brody Towers from the top rope, man. Dude, Brody, I don't know if that's you or Tommy or who it is, but Brody, I remember you as when we used to run around lacrosse tournaments, and I would be with Tommy, and you'd be causing trouble one way or another. Like, I haven't seen you in I don't know how long. I don't even know what grade you are in. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're living your best life. Brown back seat with the Deano Army. Max, hope Bozeman's better than Jackson. I hope you're getting out and skiing, because I know that's what you love to do. Seth Bankin, Mr. Bankin, good to see you. Mr. Paul Knapp, Nike sponsorship pending. That'd be great. Or a Titleist sponsorship, or any type of sponsorship would be awesome. MLMX Max Gaming. How about Brew Show? The brewer, get Culinary Works on. I mean, yeah, that's a good. She'd be down to come on the show. So I'll definitely get Culinary Works on, and we're just gonna keep the ball rolling. Keep on living, man. Keep on being the best version of yourself. And thank you guys for all the support. I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.